Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of Him who saves us by His blood. Let us put down roots to deep water. Let us drink from the fountain of life. And we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King. Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of God's Spirit by which we're sealed, studying the riches of His word. Let us eat of the bread that He gives, and we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King. Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of He who calls us by His Son. Let us gather now at His table. Let us feast on the richest of food. And we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King.
Good morning. I hope that your Saturday is going well. Let's edify one another this morning, shall we? As we indeed embark into a journey of Saturday morning. I've entitled this Devo this morning, Good Grief, for a reason. As many of you who have been followers of the CEM and the Bible reading know, my mother has developed stage 4 abdominal cancer. So we are in the end stages of that progression. And one of the things that you have to come to grips with as you deal with cancer is the loss of life, the loss of a loved one. And it's not easy. We all recognize that no matter whether we have a loved one going through cancer or we don't. We've never had one doing that. We recognize that cancer is a terrible thing. It's an enemy, if you will, that rears its ugly head and must be fought with every ounce of strength, but it's going to win. There are a few cases, and in the grand numbers, it is very few who tend to beat cancer. They may beat it once, they may beat it twice, they may beat it for the rest of their life. And for those, we are truly thankful. But it must be beat, must be fought, actually. But there are some who will never beat it. And those of us who have never had to deal with cancer give recognition to those who have. But even at that, the best we can do is sympathize, knowing that they're going through a trouble and very hard time. Morning, Carol. Morning, Reba. But we don't know what it's like until we ourselves are faced with the loss of a loved one. The same thing is said of anyone going through the loss of a loved one. Every one of us have lost a loved one, whether it be a grandparent, an aunt, uncle, a beloved friend, a parent, or, in worst case scenario, a child. And you can never know the pain and the suffering one goes through, because every situation is unique to those individuals. I cannot know the depth of your pain. I will never know the depth of your pain, because I am not you, and I do not have your connections. It's one of the reasons that those pain charts that everybody asks, the medical professions ask you about, okay, what's your level of pain today, is such a subjective as well as rather stupid idea. It does give them a general idea, but you see, my level of 10 may be your level of 300. You will never know my level of pain, because you can't feel the pain I'm going through. In the way that I'm going through. But grief is universal. There is an ache in our lives, in our hearts, in our bones. All of us feel that ache. All of us feel that sorrow. Job is the classic example of a man who felt grief. And he felt it on such an intrinsic level that every one of us can empathize with him. You see, while Job was a mighty man of God, one who was faithful to God, it's in such that Job, when he was walking to and fro about the earth, knew of Job. And God says, have you seen my servant Job? And Satan scoffs. Yeah, well, he wouldn't be such a servant. I'm going to paraphrase here. He wouldn't be such a servant if you'd stop protecting him. If you'd remove that protection from him, he'd actually keel over and renounce you. God says, okay, test that. You can do whatever you want, only do not touch his person. So what does Satan do? He takes away everything that Job has. And in verse 18 of Job chapter 1, while Job is receiving messenger after messenger after messenger about the loss of all of his possessions, one messenger is speaking and another one comes up and he says, your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, smote the four corners of the house, and fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose, rent his robe, shaved his head, fell down upon the ground, and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, naked shall I return thither. Jehovah gave, Jehovah hath taken away. Blessed be the name of Jehovah. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. For some reason, when we have a loved one taken away, many times people rush out, raise their fist foolishly to God, and start charging God foolishly. Why, God? Why did you take him away? Why them? Why not me? But notice Job's attitude. He immediately exhibits the signs of grief, rending his robe, tearing it, that is. He shaves his head in a sign of grief, falls upon the ground, and instead of chastising or instead of cursing God, what does he do? He falls on the ground and he worships God. He says, I came out of the womb naked, and I'm going to return naked. Jehovah gave, Jehovah took away. Blessed be the name of Jehovah. This is good grief. This is cleansing grief, recognizing that all things come from God. Yes, even our children, our parents, our loved ones. We're only given them for a short while. Let's enjoy them for the time that we have. And we're going to feel sorrow. We're going to feel grief, pain, and it's natural. But anger, that should never pass our lips because it's not God's fault. Notice, for when wind comes up, wind falls, house falls, kills everybody inside. He says that's a natural calamity, natural disaster. Yet they do not charge God with it. Cancer happens. It's a natural calamity. Yes, it is an evil disease, but it still is natural. It's not God's fault. But I will tell you this, that when our loved one passes on, they are no more suffering from that disease. They're in the hands of a righteous judge, a loving and merciful God. Naked I came out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Jehovah gave, Jehovah hath taken away, and blessed be the name of Jehovah. Another good example of one dealing with grief is none other than the King David, who committed fornication with Bathsheba, then had the audacity to murder her husband so that his sin would not be found out. But you know who knew his sin? God knew. And the child suffered. The child was sickly. David did everything he could for that child. He besought God for him. He fasted day and night. For 6 days, he besought God. To no avail. Child died. So David gets up, goes inside, begins to eat, washes himself, begins to eat. And His servants begin to wonder at that. And David, when asked, he says, while the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, who knows whether Jehovah will not be gracious to me that the child may live? But now that he is dead, wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he will not return to me. A child, innocent of all wrongdoing, lies in the hands of God, comforted. David, in his grief, cried, fasted, prayed, but even that was no avail to the man after God's own heart. Yet he gets up and he moves on with the assurance that he will see his child. There comes a time in our grief when we recognize that it's time to continue living. We can't hold to the past. We can't imprison our hearts, as the words of a song that I'm going to play in a bit. We can't imprison our hearts with that grief. And we shouldn't. We need to live our life and continue living. I'll go to him, but he will not return to me. Morning, Donnie. This is why Paul writes in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, beginning in verse 13, we would not have you ignorant, brethren, concerning them that fall asleep, those that have passed on, that ye sorrow not even as the rest, who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also that are fallen asleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we that are alive, that are left unto the coming of the Lord, shall in no wise precede them that are fallen asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we that are alive, that are left, shall together with them be caught up in the clouds to meet them, or meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. I have the blessed hope. My mother has that blessed hope. As she faces eternity, she says she's ready to go home. She's done. She's tired. She's fought. And one day soon, she'll leave. But you see, she's not lost. I'll not lose her. I know where she's at. I know where she's going. I've not lost her. I'll go to her. She won't come back to me. I'll grieve. There'll be an empty part of my heart. But I'll be able to move on and move forward because of this comforting passage. And that comfort is so great. I know that there are times when grief overwhelms me And Mom's not gone yet. As I think of the times when she won't be there to call and talk to see sitting in her pew at church, to hear her voice lifted in song. I won't get to hear her give her children or grandchildren the doses of reality that we need. And it overwhelms me. Then comes Psalm 61. Hear my cry, O God. Attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I call unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a refuge for me, a strong tower from the enemy. And at times our enemy is grief, not just Satan, but grief. But there is a rock that is indeed higher than any waters that we're going through. And when we're capsized, struggling, sinking, he's there for us to cling to get on top of, to get above those waters. And yes, Sister Carol, those in paradise do know. They do know. Luke chapter 16, the last part of that chapter, and the account of the rich man and Lazarus. They know. One last comforting passage comes to us from Psalm 56. And while this passage, this verse, talks about those tears that come because of our enemies, there is a comforting thought contained within it. Thou numberest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? God sees each tear that we cry. And he has record. God comforts. He knows. He's there. James and I wrote a song. I wrote a song, a poem, off of inspiration from a song he wrote, and then gave it to him, and he filled it in, set it to music. And I hope and pray. I am using this, by the way, with his permission. I hope and pray that it'll bring some comfort to you as it does to me. So listen and feel and remember. As I figure out where the play button is. Now, if I can figure out how to get the audio going. Oh.
Did you forget to give permissions for audio?
I don't know what I did. Because I'm just playing the. Oh, no, that should be. It's really out. I think there's. I know there's something I'm missing. What am I missing? Shoot. Because it's supposed to be pulling in. Fine. I don't know. Switch back to the other one. It might be in the tab. Oh, I know. Got it. You're right. I didn't have that done.
Then the room gets too quiet and the evening starts to moan. Don't go calling me missing. Don't go thinking I'm alone. I just crossed that old line where the hurting lets you go. And if you listen through the silence, this is what I want you to know. I'm not lost, I've made it home. I've gone ahead, following the way others have gone. Down the road beyond the sunset, past the tears and stone, where the weary lay their burdens down and the broken become whole. I know it hurts, I know you'll grieve. All you have left are memories of me. No, I'm at rest, I've found that peace, and I wish I could hold you when your knees get weak. I wish I could tell you face to face, don't sink, but love has a way of speaking through grief, like wind through the curtains, like rain on the leaves. So cry when you need to let the sorrow breathe, then carry me gently in the good you still believe. I'm not lost, I made it home. I've gone ahead, following the way others have gone. There'll be mornings that hit hard, coffee bitter, sun thin. You'll reach for my voice and feel the ache rush in. Let the old house remember, let the floorboards creak, let the pictures on the wall say the things I can't speak. That empty chair where I used to sit, that empty cup I used to sip, all still do work, all have a fit. So come light a spell and take a wee sip. Tell one of my stories even if it breaks. Laugh through the water running down your face. Set me there beside you in that old familiar place. Not as a goodbye, but a mercy full of grace. I'm not lost, I made it home. I've gone ahead, following the way others have gone. Don't make a prison out of missing me. Don't chain your heart to what your eyes can't see. Every life is a candle, every flame has a flight, but love keeps burning on the far side of night. When you walk where I walked, when you pass my old door, when the world feels colder than it ever did before, I may come as a memory, I may come as a song, I may ride in the quiet when the day has been too long. Shadows on the wall where once I used to live, ghosts on the path, mirages of my existence, melodies on the air that set your heart aching. Just remember, my child, you were loved without measure. You were held in my prayers. You were part of my heartbeat, part of my every care. So when grief starts talking like you'll never be strong, Hear me in the stillness, soft but steady all along. I'm not lost, I made it home. I've gone ahead, following the way others have gone. No, I ain't lost. No, I ain't lost. No, I ain't alone. No, I ain't alone. I only went ahead, and I've made it home.
Let's go to God in prayer. Father God in heaven, you are good. You are gracious. We thank you for the mercy of every hour that you have given us, for all the love that you have shown, and for all the wonderful gifts of people that are in our lives. We thank you for every minute that we have with loved ones that we have been given. You have given us, and to you they will return. Blessed be your name, for now and forever. As we face the battles, as we face the grief, we know that you are the constant rock in our life. Help us to keep that firm, that faith, always before our face. Help us to cling to you. And Father, thank you for comforting us, for being there, for sharing in our grief. You who have lost your son, and yet you brought him back and gave him life, as you will us on that last day. Blessed again is your name. Amen. As you walk this day, may you find comfort and healing in the message of his word and in the words of the song. Won't you add to your faith devotion? I love you all. God bless you and walk with him. Have a blessed day.